recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no the queen. Why they hate?
Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it,
To apologize. It's too
when I did it, I was fucked up.
late to apologize.
I was fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you? You know you done fucked up.
All right, everyone, let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. I was adding something to this thumbnail real quick. All right, and so that all being said, like so, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let's get this party started. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right? Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr.A_Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Please double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. And if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, and so let's get into it. Now, I forgot to put this in the title, so I had to go back and change it. But we're going to be talking about a black man who claims that Jeff Bezos and Amazon stole $100,000 from his small business, and now he has to file for bankruptcy. I want you all to pay attention so that you can save yourself the trouble of this potentially happening to you in the future. Okay, this is also egregious and clearly nefarious if it's true. All right, and I believe that it is. All right. So that all been said, let's see who's in here. Buckhorse DC, that crazy beast Aries, has said, when I did it, I was fed up. Okay. Prince of Paraphernalia, Tawana, Terry Hinton, Darius, Tracy, Courtney J, Jeff ATL, Claudette, Miss EBG from the land. All right. Let's get into it. All right. Let's get into it. Sophie is here. Juju B in the house. Sandra. Tawana is here. All right. Y'all know I love me some loyal royals. All right. Claudette, Christopher. We got Christopher Perkins in the house. Mr. Elevation is here. Vincent Lola. Locked Queen Candy J is here. All right. So listen, guys. AJ Matthews, Buckhorse DC. Did I say you? Terry Hinton, Tawana. Okay. So with that all been said, let's get into it. Kadarian is up in the house. All right. Desmond, Ron Slap Power God, Queen Sam. Okay. So listen, folks. For those of you following the spiritual channel, I just emailed those of you who have given me your emails. I just emailed you the links to the 6 o'clock premiere that starts today, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then those of you who are members, I just emailed you. If I have your email, I emailed you the link to the members only live. You can watch it as soon as you're done with this one if you want. Whenever, it's already up. All you have to do is click on the link. Okay, and so with that all being said, let's get into it. Tracy said, we love you to life, Queen. And I love you all right. Black, we love it. Okay, hey, Amir. Okay, so with that all being said,
Let's talk about it, because here's the thing. Now, I heard something before a few years ago. This guy did a Facebook video where it was a black man, and he was talking about how Amazon stole his idea. Now, he says that, and this is all alleged, okay, but he did say that he had some T-shirts, and the T-shirts were very nice. He had like a store. They weren't just being sold online. He literally had a business, right, that you walk into and purchase them and all that. But he had these T-shirts, and I forget the name of them, but they had like the Black Power fist on the sleeve. On every of the shirts, it had this, the Black Power fist on the sleeve, and I forget the name of it. He had the name on there also. So then he proceeded to show on a video how Amazon had taken that same logo that he had, and they had a white model wearing a bathing suit with that logo on it. I thought it was very interesting. So he was accusing them of taking his idea. Now here we have a black man who says that he invented a board game. He invented a board game, and he found out that you can have your things distributed through Amazon. Basically, you put it on Amazon's site, and then, you know, when people purchase it, they ship it out and all of that. Okay, and then they keep like a percentage of the proceeds or what have you. So anyway, he said that they came up and told him that there was some sort of fraud going on. And so they kept all of his merchandise and refusing to give it back, and now ignoring him. And so he had been trying to get in contact with them for months, and then finally they said they were going to do an investigation, and then afterwards they come back and tell him, no, we've determined that it's absolutely fraud. Well, here's the thing. If this is fraud, why haven't they called the police to press charges? Why haven't they called the police, haven't got the police involved? Because maybe it's not true. Okay, so I'm going to show you all the video that he did about this. Did I just see the Elder Baba Rashad in here? Shout out to the Elder Baba Rashad. Okay, so I want you all to pay attention, because this is very nefarious. And if you're thinking about putting any of your items that you may be selling on this site, then maybe you should think twice after you hear what this man has to say. Because I really was like shocked. Okay, not so much a shocked that they did it, because you can't put anything past devils. But at the end of the day, shocked at the audacity that they would just say, oh, it's fraud. But here's the thing. Something similar happened to me one time with PayPal. Okay, something similar happened to me one time with PayPal. Now, I had money in the PayPal account, and then PayPal just snatched the money. I was trying to access it to transfer it to my bank, and I couldn't get the money. And so I called PayPal, and they kept telling me, oh, it looks like there was some fraudulent transactions on your account. We need you to verify who you are. Same thing the man is saying, mind you. And so I sent them my identification. You know, I sent them like a copy of the debit card that I had attached to the account. Like I sent them like pictures of it, you know. And then I sent them a picture of my driver's license and all of that. And they said, well, we're going to have to investigate. It's going to take us about 6 months or so, something like that. So, okay, I said, do they think I'm going to forget? So 6 months later, I didn't hear from them. So I was thinking, why does it take 6 months? Like, make it all make sense. So anyway, I ended up calling them after 6 months had passed. And I was like, okay, where's my money? You all said you did the investigation, took 6 months. What's up? And so then they finally released the funds. Some of these companies will do shady stuff like that. You need to be paying attention. Okay? You need to be paying attention. Now, can you imagine? Now, in my case, it was just a couple $100s, or, you know, a few $100s or whatever. But at the end of the day, it was mine, and that's the principle. But this man, it's over $100,000 worth of merchandise, 25 units, I believe, of the product that he was selling. And this is very sad and egregious. And I'm bringing attention to this story and awareness because it needs to be told. Okay? Eric said PayPal make money off the interest. Okay? The Prince of Paraphernalia said, did he copyright his logo? I think that he did. But here's the thing. When these big lucrative companies, you know, take your belongings or take your intellectual property or whatever, or any type of way that they wrong you, and you're just a regular everyday Joe Schmo, then you have to sue them in court. Many attorneys don't even want to fight these people. Many attorneys don't even want to sue them because these people have big bucks. And so it's sometimes hard to even get an attorney to take your case, or you may not have the money for an attorney to take the case, because some of these attorneys, you know, they're not going to, you know, they're going to want money up front in some cases. So It is what it is. It's just like the same case with Kim Kardashian. And some of you, I forgot all about that story. Some of you told me you had not heard about that. So I need to do a story about that. Let me write that down. How Kim Kardashian allegedly stole these ideas, millions of dollars worth of ideas from these two men. I need to talk about that. This happened a couple of years ago, but one of these men says he's now homeless. He has a website called Kim Kardashian Ruined My Life. So we're going to have to talk about that because this is what people do. When they have money and you don't. And there was also a black designer a few years ago who said that Kylie Jenner stole her ideas, stole her designs, and was selling on her own website. Okay, so that's what you ought to pay attention. This is what people do. Let's not forget my good friend Sophia Stewart, okay, who created the Matrix franchise, who actually wrote the book, right? Had that stolen from her and she had to go to court for years. For years to get what she was owed, and she did copyright it when she wrote it. It was initially called The Third Eye. Went to the movies and saw The Matrix and said, that's my book. Okay, and so please pay attention, honey. When you have to fight these big companies like this with all this money, sometimes it's an uphill battle. Okay, so let's get into it. Lights up, everyone, please like and share.
Jeff Bezos has stolen over $100,000 from me. And as a small business, that is insurmountable. Like, I can't come back from that. So now I have to file for bankruptcy. I have to bankrupt my business. A business I started over 3 years ago, during COVID, when the world was at its roughest. I was so proud to be able to create something, and now I have to shut it down. So what happened? Well, I created a board game. It's called Disparity Trap. It's a social justice board game. It's basically like, like the board games we grew up on. Your goal is to go around the board, accrue wealth, by hitting all these milestones, like getting a job or going to college, starting a business. The whole goal is that you are doing that in someone else's shoes by playing an identity different from yours that you live in. So it's putting yourself in someone else's shoes. It's living in someone else's perspective. And each of those milestones are based off real life statistics, real life research. So it's a very educational board game. It's to teach you about the inequities in our society. And in a very ironic fate, I am living through the statistics of my own board game, and I'm realizing that as I say it out loud right now. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I created this board game with my own money, 100% of my own money. I saved up money during COVID. I invested that money into stocks. Grateful for the stocks that I happened to invest into, and I earned enough money that I felt confident to take that money out and invest into myself immediately. Over $20,000 of that money I spent in creating this board game, in terms of just like ideation of like putting it all together, play testing it, getting friends and family to all play it multiple times. All those people who've done this, thank you so much. You know who you are. And I launched a Kickstarter. And to launch that Kickstarter, I made a commercial. I spent $11,000 on that commercial. I wrote it, I directed it, I produced it. I had friends in it, but I paid everybody their union rates. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And I made this commercial. And then I put the commercial on Kickstarter, and I launched the Kickstarter, and it was funded in 5 days. And then I started doing pre-orders, and then I sold over 10,000 copies of this board game. And years into all of this, Amazon just takes it. They just take it. How do they take it? One day I go online. I'm using, just to clarify to people who don't understand, I put my board game with Amazon fulfillment centers. There's a whole program they have for small businesses where you could take your hard copy products that you created and put them in their facilities around the country so that when people purchase it on your personal website, you can basically automate it so it sends it to their fulfillment center, and their fulfillment center ships it to those customers, and so it gets there really quickly. That sounded amazing to me. It was very affordable for a small business, so I did it. But then I sold and I was selling. Amazon was like, we're going to charge you more. So I started charging more money. They were charging me thousands of dollars a month to keep my inventory there. It went from hundreds to thousands of dollars to keep my inventory there. So I was like, I got to get my inventory out. So I started moving it out. But what they didn't tell me so clearly, they put it really into small places that it's going to cost me 3 times more to get it out than it cost me to get it in per unit. Actually, 10 times more. It cost me a couple $100s to get my units there, but it cost me $10,000 to get a portion of it out. And by the time I could stop it, I had to pay still that $9,000. So I paid it. I went to debt on credit cards to pay that. I paid it. It wasn't good enough for Amazon. So they now, when I started moving it, I had to pay it. And then I was like, I have this other inventory. I don't want to work with Amazon anymore. I'm going to liquidate it. So that basically means I take that inventory and I give it to third-party sellers at a discount rate, and they could sell it their own way, and I make a little bit of money on that product. I lose out because I don't make the full price value of it, but I don't have to lose out by like having it sit on shelves, so to speak. I did that. So now Amazon owes me about $16,000, $17,000 because I'm using the whole system. Like Amazon's connecting us, me and the other third parties, because they have my product. And they get a portion of that, and my portion totals $16-something thousand. They already got their portion. And mine, after all of that, Amazon got their portion. After all of that, mine's $16-something thousand. And Amazon still doesn't want to give me that. They hold it off. They immediately flag somehow. Not immediately, but right when the money was starting to be owed, like months later when the money's starting to be owed, because you have to wait a couple months for this whole process. Once the money was starting to be owed, they put a hold on my account. They deactivated my account. Then they say my account has been is suspected of fraudulent, criminal, illegal activity that's harmful to the customers. Don't know what that means. I made this product myself. I manufactured this myself with a manufacturer in China. Obviously, I didn't make this myself. In China. I paid for it to come to the United States. I did all the legal regulation. I made it all get here. I did the trademarking, all of it. So who's fraud? Who? Not one customer chargeback or complaint on my Amazon account. But they say they flag it. I go through the whole process. The whole process took 4 more months. And they don't get back to any of my emails for those 4 months. They're just like, submit information, submit information. I submit the information. I submit my paperwork, my insurance, all this stuff. They wait. They come back. They're like, they just have a standard message saying, we're going to maintain that you have been doing fraudulent activity. Doesn't tell me what exactly that activity is this whole time. Not one specific example of what I've done, just a standard template statement. I keep sending emails. I send dozens and dozens and dozens of emails, no replies from anyone that used to reply back to me back when I was in their good graces, I guess. But now, nothing from them. They just go dead silent. Then I finally get a message saying that they're going to go through a verification process. I go through the verification process. I don't see anyone on the screen. I just hear this voice of this Eastern European person talking to me. Don't even know if they're from the United States. Don't even know where they're from. They're just talking to me. I do all the things. I show my passport. I show all the things. They say, okay, we'll let you know in a few days what the result is. I get back a same template email. After review, we have made a final decision that you've been acting in fraudulent activity, and you are not going to get your inventory over 2,600 units, and you're not getting your $17,000. Basically, flat out, they're keeping all of it. And now, that's over $100,000 worth of inventory. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. So don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm asking for help. I have nothing left, so I need help. The best thing I want to do is try and pay back the people I owe money to. Even though I'm filed for bankruptcy, I still want to pay them back. So the best way to do that is to sell the remaining inventory I have Like I said, I pulled some from Amazon. It cost me a lot of money to do it, but I have it, and I want to sell that as soon as possible. If you look at www.disparityshop.com, you'll find where you could buy it. You will find it on Amazon. It will be cheaper. It's going to be like half the price because Amazon just does that. They steal it, and then now they're selling it, and they're making all the money off of it now. If you want to help, please purchase it from my website, and share this. Thanks.
That is absolutely egregious. And here's the thing. You know, this is nothing new. They've been doing this to Black people forever. Okay? They've been doing this to Black people. See, this is just another way of doing it. So I want you to pay attention because something he said that was key. He said that after it started selling really good, you know, months down the line, then they raised the prices. So he went from paying hundreds of dollars a month for them to keep his inventory, but then they started charging thousands. Why did they raise the prices? Because they saw that he was making money. They saw that he was making money off of his idea, and the first thing they said was, hey, how can we make more money out of him? So that's what they did. The same thing happened to my sisters and my brother. Years ago, my brother and my sisters came up with, actually, I came up with the idea, but I don't live in Kentucky. So I told them about this idea, okay, for this candy shop. Okay, like it was called the Candy Shack, where they sell like cakes, pies, you know, gift baskets, homemade candies and cookies and all these types of things. And it was right across the street from Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, so they rented this house and converted it into like a shop. Okay, and they were doing good, especially when it was Derby time or there's people going to Churchill Downs to the horse races because they were right across the street. So in a very good location, and they were making lots of money. And so with that all been said, I mean, they were selling plates of food outside like during the summer and things like that. Long story short, the owner of the property, he happened to drive by a couple of times and see all these customers, see all this money they were making. So he comes back and doubles the rent. Now he wants them to pay him, and this is a guy who doesn't look like me, but he comes and he wants them to pay all of this more money, you know, because he sees them making all of this money. See, that's what people like that do. Devils, jealous, envious, don't want to see people who look like me or you make anything unless they're benefiting from it. And when they can't, well, they'll just cause all sorts of problems. Now, here's the thing. They likely would have just taken his entire idea and put their stamp on it. But likely because he had a trademark and had all of his paperwork in order. So now what they've done is just, you know, basically someone said that you had a hostile takeover. Basically just taking it so now you don't get to sell it, even though you have the trademark and all of that. We're going to put you out of business because we're not going to pay you what we owe you. And we're also not going to give you the ability to make anything off of the products that we have. 2,600 units that he's already spent money on having produced and shipped and all of that from China. And now he owes people who've worked with him and helped him. So they have put him in a very bad situation. This is what they do. This is another way of driving you out of business. Because they don't want your Black self in business in the first place. You know, and I'm so glad that I found this story out because I have 2 books that are already completed. And I'm just waiting to have these books edited. And I was going to sell them on Amazon. But no, thank you. Absolutely not. They'll be on my website instead. I just want you all to pay attention. This is absolutely egregious. Okay? And everybody says sue. And of course, that's the first thing you would think of. But like I said, when you're going to get a company like Amazon with all the money, Amazon, Google, some of these companies, it's almost impossible to get an attorney that's willing to take them on. You have to have a rock solid case. Okay? T of y'all said trademark all of your ideas. They steal all our stuff. Yes, I've been telling y'all that you have to trademark it. In his case, he absolutely did trademark it. But here's the thing. Once you give them possession of it, you see what they've done. So now it doesn't even matter that he had a trademark. They're still selling it. And where's the money going? To them. To them. Is this legal? Of course not. It doesn't sound like it. How can it be legal? They literally stole his stuff allegedly. And now they're making all the money. He's getting nothing, and they won't even pay him what they owe him. And they're saying it's fraud, but they don't tell you how it's fraud. What you did that's fraudulent, so they can just tell you whatever they want to tell you. They'll just tell you whatever they want to tell you. This is all crazy. And this is the thing. When you're reading documents, when you're signing any sort of contracts, I don't care how lengthy it is, how many pages it is, you have to do your due diligence and read the fine print. Because that's how they get you. Most people just gloss over things. Some people don't even read through contracts or whatever. They just sign their signature, just trying to hurry up and get done. Let me tell you something. When I closed on the first house that I bought, I sat there and I was in that closing for about 4.5 hours. You know why? Because I was reading the fine print. They're handing me all this paper thinking I'm just going to sign away. No, I'm reading it all. I want to know what I'm signing so I don't get played. And that's what you have to do. Because the devil is always in the details. And the details are usually, beloveds, in fine print. Okay, so please pay attention. I feel really bad for him. This really angers me to see this happening to someone who worked so hard and who doesn't have money like that to just be thrown away or for somebody to come and snatch up. Oh, Claudette said it's time consuming. Yes, it is, but it's absolutely worth it. Eric said, if Amazon's calling it fraud, so why are they still selling? Exactly. Good point, right? And why haven't they gotten the police or the FBI involved? If he was committing fraud, right? If he was committing fraud, why wouldn't they have gotten the police involved? I just have a whole bunch of questions. That's why if what he says is true, and I believe it is, they're just full of crap. They're just full of crap. So anyway, also nefarious. And here's the thing too. If it was fraud, wouldn't they need to be calling the feds? Because wouldn't that be interstate commerce? Okay? I'm sorry. All right? So anyway. I mean, because these things are going out of more than just one jurisdiction. They're going across state lines and borders and all of that because they're being sold to all over the state and probably even out of the country. I mean, not the state, out of all over the state. All over the country and probably even out of the country. So just all real crazy. Albert said he should get the DOJ involved. Somebody needs to get involved. Lisa Lovett says, I'm very angry too. These people have Wedico. Pay attention. Tia Vyas said if they were stealing it on their site, that part of the fraud also. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they can just tell you, oh, you're committing fraud and we've determined that it's fraud. Here's the thing. If the person was committing fraud, why wouldn't they just return the products? Why wouldn't they just give the person back their products, right? Like, how does that make sense? So if you feel like they were doing something fraudulent, why wouldn't you? Who are they to confiscate his property or to just hold his property? That's illegal. You don't get to hold someone's property. They're not the police. Who are they? Who are they? I would have called the feds. I'm sorry. Before I called an attorney, I'd be calling the feds and explain the situation. And I tell the feds, they're accusing me of fraud, and I want them to show where the fraud was. Y'all need to be investigating this. Because if I committed fraud, then I should be under arrest. So why haven't they pressed any charges? I would have a whole lot of questions. This is all crazy. But anyway, let me continue. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. So let me just tell you guys about the Ukraine, honey, because the Ukraine, all that money that Biden sent over there, he can't give us any reparations, no compensation, no nothing. And then people want to get mad and talk crazy when we say something about being owed for the things that they've done, that they know they've done, that they've admitted that we are deserving of reparations. And how do we know that they owe us reparations? Well, because first of all, they already offered us money before. Hold on, beloveds. Let me pull this up real quick. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let me just go briefly to my TikTok that I did yesterday. Okay? Everyone, please get the lights up. Thank you for your cooperation and participation, beloveds. This is all so crazy. Then we have everybody just hating on black folk. talking about we don't need reparations, we just want free stuff, and just doing the absolute most. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Let's talk about Mr. Brian Calley. Mr. Brian Calley left a comment for a TikToker by the name of Positively Tracy after she made a video talking about the celebration of Juneteenth and why we have that celebration, and also talking about reparations. You see, because Mr. Calley seems to think that people who look like me don't deserve reparations because we just want free stuff, and that none of us were slaves, nor do we know any. So let's get into it.
And now is non-enslaved. We had a chance to do that, and we blew it back in the 1880s and 90s. So 40 acres and a mule, for some it was more, for some it was less. 40 acres and a mule is what was promised to those working on plantations. That never happened. Then sharecropping. Then all the Jim Crow.
People who think like Brian Calley really get under my skin, because at the end of the day, the thing is, we're not just owed reparations because of slavery. What about Jim Crow? What about all of the lynchings? What about the race riots? What about Tulsa, Oklahoma's bombing? What about the 1985 bombing of Operation Move? What about all of the other things, okay? What about the epidemic that was purposely put in our neighborhoods during the 80s with the illegal substance, okay, that President Biden's son has even taken in his lifetime, but he's never served a day in jail for it? Okay, let's talk about it. At the end of the day, there's a whole lot of things other than slavery, but that's the only one, sadly, that people who think like him seem to bring up. And I find it interesting because also they never complain about other people who've gotten reparations from this country just simply wanting free stuff. It's always the people who look like me that we always just want something for free, when in fact, his people have gotten plenty of free things. The owners of the plantations who owned slaves were given reparations after slavery ended for the loss of their property. Many of the soldiers were given houses through the GI Bill, but soldiers who were my skin tone who fought for this country as well were not given those houses. Okay, houses can help you to start building and establishing generational wealth. So with that all being said, I find it very interesting that Mr. Brian Calley has so much to say. Why is it that people who think like him, I'm not saying people who look like him necessarily, because there are a myriad of people who look like him who don't think the way that he does. Positively Tracy is one. But for him to sit there and say we just want free stuff when his people have been in fact given free stuff, even for heinous atrocities that were perpetuated, paid for doing so, how do you get paid for owning other humans after those people were taken out of your possession? Please make that make sense. Okay, at the end of the day, it seems like everyone in this country who's had anything bad happen to them can get reparations, besides the people who look like me. And people like Brian Calley have so much to say against it, talking about, oh, their tax dollars shouldn't have to pay for it. Why does it have to come out of their tax dollars? Did they complain when other people got it? And some of these people, mind you, never even had atrocities that were even perpetuated on this soil. But I don't hear him saying those people want things for free. Please pay attention. And another thing is the fact that this United States government even ever promised to give us 40 acres and a mule. You know what that says to me? And of course they reneged on that deal. But what that says to me is that they absolutely acknowledged and admitted that they owe us reparations for the atrocities perpetuated upon our people. They just don't want to pay up. That's what that says. They've already admitted that we're owed reparations when they made the promise that they reneged on. Please pay attention. They need to sit down somewhere is all I'm saying, honey, at the end of the day. They know they owe us. Okay, they just don't want to pay up. But hold on. So they don't have money for us, and we dare not ask for reparations lest they just have a whole hissy fit and everybody start pointing a finger, talking about, oh, we're just begging and this, that, and the third. But meanwhile, here's what's going on in Ukraine. Let's talk about it. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Now, I'm going to share this report that came out months ago talking about bars and clubs are full in Ukraine, despite the ongoing war with Russia. I find it also nefarious. Please pay attention. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to put up an overlay.
Welcome you back to CBS Mornings. As the war rages in Ukraine and cities are pounded by the Russian missiles, you may be surprised to learn that the nightlife in the country, well, it's thriving. The bars, the clubs, and the restaurants, they are all packed. Charlie D'Agata met up with customers and business owners to find out why the partying has not stopped in Ukraine.
A summer's evening, a sidewalk cafe, smiling friends. It could be anywhere. Except it's not anywhere. Kharkiv is not far from the Russian border and within easy reach of missiles and airstrikes. And while many buildings remain boarded up, the remote yet real possibility of dying hasn't stopped its residents from living. Like 20-year-old student George Soldatenko and his friends Nikolai and Andrei.
Sometimes rockets really just boom, boom at night, and that could be scary. But you know, in the morning, when you wake up, you're trying just trying to have a good morning, your routine, and that's all.
Despite the rockets, Ukraine just here. Fun fact, there are now more bars and restaurants in the capital than before the start of the invasion. An act of defiance sometimes when they have to pick up the pieces and figure out how or if to carry on.
Now I want you all to pay attention. They said there's more bars and cafes and all of that than there was before the war, okay? So does it sound like they're over there struggling? But hold on. This is all nefarious. Okay? Please pay attention.
The amount of money going to Ukraine in this bill is more than we spend on the entire Marine Corps. Think about it. We're going to send to Ukraine more money than we spend on our own Marine Corps. This is a bill about Ukraine first. This is a bill that makes us weaker. There is no money to give to Ukraine. It's not like we've got a pot of money. There is no surplus. There is no rainy day fund. This money will be printed up or borrowed from China to send to Ukraine. It makes us weaker. Once the border bill failed and they decided that this wasn't really about the border, that this was about Ukraine's border, the American firsters plowed on, but with a more intellectually honest proposal. Nothing for America, everything for Ukraine. That's what this bill is. Nothing for America, nothing to stop the invasion of nearly 1 million people across our southern border. They offered a border bill that would have said, well, if we have an emergency, the emergency's already happened. Nearly 1 million people came in the last 2 months. That is the emergency. This is a bill that is Ukraine first and America last.
Is it just me, or does it kind of feel like America is like the hardworking baby daddy who's currently living off of ramen and reusing old socks as toilet paper because he can't afford to go buy more, while paying a ridiculous amount of child support to like a spiteful baby mama who goes out and uses that money to get her hair and nails done and then comes back screaming, "That wasn't enough!"
Okay, y'all see that? How they over there partying down, honey, living their best lives. While we're over here struggling, okay? With high gas prices, high cost of living, high food prices, people getting evicted, can't afford to pay their rent, the landlords are increasing everything. It's all crazy. I just want you all to pay attention. But this is what Biden is doing, okay? This is what Biden is doing. Also nefarious. But so anyway, let's talk about these immigrants that have been out here wreaking havoc, okay? Now, there was a 12-year-old little girl. May she rest in peace, and condolences to her family, friends, and loved ones. 12-year-old little girl, Joyce Nungary, who unfortunately lost her life after she was raped by some grown men. Hold on just a second. Let me pull up the clip. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. This is also sad. I posted this to my Twitter yesterday. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen.
Look at the people that are here. They care about you.
What is your message as her mother to the justice system?
Please don't fail us. Please don't let us down. The city of Houston has done everything in their power to bring this to light, and now it's the justice system to do their part as well. It's a community effort. It's a partnership. We all have to follow through, and we all need to give them their punishments that they deserve, because my baby didn't deserve this.
What do you hope that punishment is?
That they receive worse than what my daughter did, because she deserves to live and breathe every single day. I was looking forward to seeing how beautiful she was going to grow up to be, and I know God is real, God is good, and they will feel God's wrath.
Can you just explain what Forever 12 is on your shirt?
Forever 12, she'll never be a teenager, so she'll forever be 12.
For people that didn't know your daughter, how would you like for them to remember her? How would you like them to, when they hear her name, what would you like them to think?
She was goofy. She had her own personality. She was one of a kind. Wasn't a follower. She was her own trendsetter. She loved animals. Would save all of them. I'll never forget when she brought in a raw pigeon out from just the streets and just bathed it and took care of it. And she was a nurturer, and she was amazing. She was amazing. And all I have now are the memories and all the things that she had. But she was an amazing friend. Man, she had so many friends that cared about her, and she cared about so many people, all the people she loved. She was just amazing.
And we know the story has reached national level. Do you think, this would reach such a huge audience?
Never did in a million years did I think I would have to go through this, but never in a billion years did I think it would get the amount of attention it has. But at some point, this has to stop. This has to stop. We have to stop losing our kids, and we have to put out awareness that for parents, just please be extra careful with your kids. Make sure you have extra safety measures. Kids, please don't think you're invincible. Like, you never know when your last day is. You never know. We always think we're young and dumb, and we're gonna have fun and come home and we'll be safe, but it's not always the case for everybody.
How's your little brother doing?
We broke the news to him today, and he's still trying to process it. He doesn't understand why, but we've just explained that she's up in heaven and she's going to be our guardian angel now, and she's going to make sure nothing happens to us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so very, very sad and heartbreaking at the end of the day. Some of y'all said that she's not showing enough emotion or whatever. Well, I don't know how much emotion she needs to show. At the end of the day, people grieve differently as far as I'm concerned. I will say this. She doesn't have crocodile tears like Susan Smith did. Because when I saw Susan Smith on the news, I said, yeah, she absolutely is lying. It was obvious she was lying. This lady is very sincere to me. Now, with that all being said, someone asked what happened to the child. Here's what happened. Illegal immigrants lured 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari under a bridge and then assaulted her and raped her for 2 hours before taking her life, according to prosecutors. 2 illegal Venezuelan immigrants. Let me put their mugs on the screen. The illegal Venezuelan immigrants accused of murdering a 12-year-old Houston girl lured her under a bridge where they stripped her naked to the waist and assaulted her for 2 hours. Okay, this is in disturbing court documents. Franklin Jose Pina Ramos, age 26, and Johan Jose Rangel Martinez, age 21, allegedly bound Jocelyn Nungari's hands behind her back during the brutal assault. They strangled her and dumped her body in a bayou, according to the Harris County Court on Monday. Her feet were also bound and her back was covered in cuts. So they tortured this poor child. After the murder, Pina Ramos allegedly asked his employer at a construction site for money so he could skip town after the murder. Both men are charged with capital murder for Jocelyn's death, and Harris County District Attorney Kim Ogg said prosecutors have not ruled out pursuing the death penalty. Pina Ramos appeared during the Monday hearing where the judge ruled him a flight risk and set his bond at $10 million, double what prosecutors requested and 10 times the sum sought by the defense. Rangel Martinez's bail has not yet been set. They say our immigration system is broken, and if there was ever a case that reflected that, this is one. This is what Ogg said during a press conference after the hearing. So Pina Ramos crossed the southern border illegally at El Paso, Texas on May the 28th. So he didn't waste any time. He just crossed the border May 28th. Now the Post first reported this last week. He told agents he was going to live with his cousin in Houston that he feared for his safety if he went back to Venezuela. He was fitted with an ankle monitor that was set to track his location for 21 days, which he cut off 2 days after Jocelyn's body was found, according to Homeland Security. Rangel Martinez entered the country at El Paso on March the 14th and was also given an ankle monitor, but had it removed in May after it was determined he had no criminal history. So very, very disturbing. I'm going to show some pictures of how they caught her on surveillance. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on. Okay, there we go. They had a candlelight vigil. That's one of them in court, Franklin Jose Pina Ramos. Looking like the thug that he is. That's Jocelyn, 12 years old. So sad. This is the other thug, Johan Jose Rangel Martinez. He looks a whole lot older than 21, if you ask me. Pina's 26. This is when she was, I guess, going into a store. And so anyway, all very sad as far as I'm concerned. Prayers and condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones. Just a very sad set of circumstances. Can you imagine a 12-year-old child being stripped of their clothing, hands and feet bound behind their backs, and this occurring to them, this brutal assault for 2 hours? I'm going to go to the press conference and show just a bit of that, not the whole thing because it's like 25 minutes. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. But, you know, this is all thanks to the Biden administration because they want all these illegals to come over here to replace the black vote, which we have been telling you for about 4 years. This is what they want. They want to replace the black vote because, hey, you know why they want to replace the black vote? Because black people, some of us started waking up because black people have been voting disproportionately for the Democrats for a period of 50 plus years. Okay. And now black people are starting to ask for things, starting to ask for tangibles, starting to ask for bills, hate crime bills, starting to ask for reparations. They don't want to give us anything. So we're tired of y'all asking. So we'll just get other people and replace your votes with theirs. That's why they're letting these people come over here. That's why they're letting these people come over here. Queen Sam said, no, you don't need to return to your country. You did the crime here. You'll do the punishment here. Exactly. Exactly. I absolutely agree. Okay, so that all being said, I'm going to start this video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
The Citi Custom Cash Card, a different kind of card that...
Good afternoon. On Monday, the mayor and I and our homicide stood in front of you and asked for and delivered some really tragic news of a little girl who was tragically murdered. And we asked for your help. Her name was Jocelyn Nungary, and she was 12 years old. We started to work, and we've been working around the clock since that time, trying to find out what happened to her and who was responsible and to get them off the street. I want to thank our homicide team, our North Belt crime suppression teams, our gang division.
I'm here primarily, though, to emphasize 3 points. Our condolences to the family. When I spoke to Ms. Ngari about an hour ago, she was at the funeral home. I'm concerned about their economic circumstances and also to let them know that all of Houston, all the investigators, their neighbors, the retail merchants in the area, everyone that came forward with information. The chief mentioned I was there the night before last. This North Belt crime suppression group, you don't want to mess with them. They were out on the streets, going up and down every street in every direction from the incident, from the scene of the crime. I've watched homicide work around the clock all night long. I've seen SWAT show up to make certain that they were apprehended properly. So the first thing I want to emphasize is the condolences. The family, as the chief said, is devastated. I've spoken with her uncle. If you just put yourself in their place, they don't know which way to turn. They have very limited resources, but they're strong, they're brave. The mother just wants to see her baby. Hasn't been able to examine the body due to the investigation, but she's making arrangements as we talk. Number 2, and I just touched on it briefly, but I want to expound on it. The police work. I want Houstonians to know, be proud and excited about your police department.
Okay, I've heard enough at that point when he starts bragging on the police. Okay, I can do without that. Now, at the end of the day, it's very sad, but that's not the only story because there was another thugged out illegal. And let's talk about what he did. Assaulted a 9-year-old. Illegal immigrant linked to Maureen Gray murder by earlier assault of a 9-year-old girl. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance while I cue this video. Now, so this guy by the name of Victor Hernandez took the life of a mother of 5. And they also say that he assaulted a 9-year-old. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. They just keep letting these people come over here, have no way to keep track of them. They want to put trackers and ankle monitors on them. But hey, when they want to commit a crime, all they're going to do is cut it off. So how's that helping? How is that even helping? It isn't. Put my overlay up here. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Hernandez did not come here to make a better life for himself or for his family. He came here to escape the crime he committed in El Salvador. He came here and murdered Rachel, and God willing, no one else. But that should have never been allowed to happen.
He came and murdered Rachel. Sheriff Jeff Gowler says that Rachel Morin's name, but Biden's Homeland Security Secretary, had a tougher time doing the same.
I do want to ask you about the murder of this Maryland mother that has been in the news. It's gotten a lot of attention. She was killed last year. An undocumented immigrant was just arrested, and her death last week.
Of course, our hearts break for the children, the family, the loved ones, the friends of the individual who was murdered, the woman, the mother.
Joining me now is Patty Morin, mother of Rachel Morin, and Randolph Price, who is the Morin family attorney. Rice, Patty, first I want to say that I'm so sick about this. I'm so sick about your loss, and the loss of all of those parents and brothers and sisters across the country who've suffered from this type of crime, all crime, but this in particular is so heinous and gruesome. When you hear Rachel referred to as the individual by the Secretary of Homeland Security, what is your reaction?
My reaction is that it's a completely political statement because they're not even willing to acknowledge that she was a female, that she was a mother, a daughter. It totally depersonalizes her and makes her an object.
Well, Randolph, say her name, say my name was repeated in a lot of the other movements across the country at times of crisis, that people in power needed to know who these victims were, whether it was police brutality or other allegations of criminal activity or the Me Too movement. But in this case, they have a different approach.
Yeah, I mean, they just seem to be disconnected completely from what's going on at the southern border and how it is actually affecting Americans. I mean, they are hemorrhaging at the southern border, and they are arguing in Washington about what type of Band-Aid to put on it when they should be putting a tourniquet on it and stopping this flow so that we don't have another Rachel Morin.
Well, Patty, have you heard from any official in the Biden administration about your daughter and your loss?
No, ma'am. No one's contacted me personally. And as far as I know, no one has reached out and contacted anybody in the family.
Well, what's your message to President Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, his DHS secretary? Rachel's name not used, her life not recognized. What's your message tonight to them?
My message is that these are American citizens. These are the people that help to strengthen our country. These are the men and women that keep our country going, our economy going, our families, our churches. This is the backbone of America, us, Americans. And to not even acknowledge that my daughter is a person, or that she's a female, or that she's a mother, like to categorize her as a statistic, is just, it just shows how impersonal that they are.
It's callous.
And it also shows, yes, and how they don't value life.
How are you doing, Patty? I mean, that's just a trite question. It doesn't even sound right to ask you, but I just, again, how are you doing? How is your family doing? What do you need?
It's been like, oh, it's been so very hard. I think I need rest. I think we all need rest. We need to cry. It's the emotions go up and down, because we still have to live our life. We still have to go to work. We still have to get the kids to school, during school. Like, we still have to do our daily things. But at the same time, it never leaves our mind that Rachel's gone because of all the things that we do in our life that she was a part of. So we're constantly reminded of Rachel, and it just makes you feel so sad because there's such a hole in our family. And then
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. This is a sad story at the end of the day. I can't stand that lady from Fox News, Megyn Kelly. Oh my God, I can't stand her. Her voice, her face, everything about her just annoys me. Okay, so that all being said, condolences to the family, friends, and loved one. A mother of 5 now gone, children without a mother. Very sad indeed. Very sad indeed. But hey, the Biden administration continues to allow these people over here. They don't care. And here's the thing. They referred to her daughter as the individual because they were trying not to, how do I want to say this? Trying not to make her seem, human. Objectifying her basically so that it's less likely for people to attach themselves to any feelings of sorrow, empathy, and sympathy. Usually what they do when one of us is in the news for something so tragic. Please pay attention. Now the shoe's on the other foot. You see, here's the thing. These immigrants who are coming over here committing these heinous crimes are more so attacking people who don't look like us. They feel more comfortable attacking those people. That's just what I believe. Now, with that being said, these people are going to get sick and tired and fed up in a minute because this stuff is going to keep happening. It's not going to stop. This is just the beginning. Please pay attention. Don't say that I didn't tell you. Okay? Don't say that I didn't tell you. This is just the beginning. You see, they're bringing them here to take resources or to basically take jobs from people who look like me. My friend called me just yesterday. Okay? My friend is a real estate investor and often has properties that are constructed on, that are, revamped and whatever, and sold and all of that. And he basically was telling me that it's a whole lot of illegal immigrants now getting those jobs rather than black people. And with that all being said, this is all by design. And also, like I said, so the Democrats can get those votes. So they don't need our votes because they're sick and tired of us asking for stuff. Why do you black people keep asking me about reparations? That's what they think. Why are y'all asking about crime bills when you're the one committing the crimes? That's what they think. So to avoid all of that and to still secure that they stay in power and control, they're moving in other people to replace us. But there's always a downside to any plan. You see, their people will become casualties of this situation that they themselves have started, Biden, Kabambi. So what are they going to do? There are people going to get very upset in a minute. Then they're going to remember what Trump said. Remember how Trump said, oh, some of them I imagine are good people, but some of them are rapists and killers. Was he lying? What did I tell you all years ago, those of you who are my day ones? I said at the end of the day, Patsy said Laura Ingraham, not Megyn Kelly. Thank you, beloved. I always get them mixed up. Thank you. It's a bunch of blind bimbos on Fox News, so I'm safe. So thank you for the correction, Laura Ingraham. Now, that's the one that said, shut up and dribble. This one here. But anyway, the bottom line is, they think they're hurting us, but they're going to hurt themselves in the long run. That's what they're going to do. Yes, Catrice said it's going to backfire. Absolutely. Terry Hinn said we need our power tools. Yes, we do. Okay? So with that all being said, this stuff is only going to get worse, like I'm telling you. And I told you all years ago, when all of this stuff started happening, I said, at the end of the day, why are they letting these people come over here and they can't even keep tabs on them? They can't even track them or keep up with them. Putting ankle monitors on, they're going to take it right back off when they want to commit a crime. And also, I said, you don't know what they did over in their country. You don't know what kind of heinous atrocities, what kind of murders, rapes, assaults. You don't know what they did over there. And then you're just letting them come here and roam freely. But they want to stop and frisk us walking down the streets of New York, walking down the streets of Baltimore. Please pay attention. They don't want to give us any type of compensation or reparations, but these people can just do whatever they want, will, or may. And then they get benefits when they get here. So it's only going to get worse. That's right. Mr. Elevation said they're too busy tracking us. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now they're taking this woman's life, this young woman, okay, with 5 kids. They've done this heinous act to a 12-year-old, lured her under a bridge, stripped her of her clothing, and bound her hands and feet, and assaulted her for 2 whole hours. Can you imagine what that poor child was thinking while this was going on? Lane said something about the child sneaking out of the house. I didn't see or hear them say anything about her having snuck out of the house. Even if she did, she's still a child 12 years old. Are you trying to say that she deserved it? You said something about the child being grown, thought she was grown. No, she thought she was a child. Children do foolish things. They don't have the mind of adults. And if the child snuck out while the mother was asleep, parents aren't supposed to go to sleep. We can't watch children 24/7. At the end of the day, the only ones at fault here are the thugs who took her life. Not the mother, not the little girl. She's a kid. She is a kid. I don't know what's wrong with some people. Queen, I put Lane on timeout for trolling. I think she was trolling. I hope she wasn't serious. That's not how you really think. But then you got to be strange if you would even say something like that, even if you were trolling. So, with that all being said, okay, T of y'all said, tell him, Queen, Lane is sick in the head, blame the child, not the adult men. Exactly. Okay, this is all sick. At the end of the day, like I said, condolences, and may that poor child rest in peace. At the end of the day. So now let's talk about this. Then I'm going to be out of here. Now, again, let me remind you, for those of you who follow the spiritual channel that have memberships, I already posted your membership or your members only live. You can click on it whenever you want to. And for the rest of you, yours will be premiered at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will behoove you to watch these lives. They're going to be premiering Monday through Thursday. You need to watch them because on Friday, we're going to go live. I didn't record one for Friday because I'm going to go live on their Friday and we're going to have trivia. So don't sit there and whine and complain when you get those questions wrong because you weren't paying attention or you missed the lies. Now, let's talk about this because you guys may remember a month or so ago, I reported to you how this black woman was arrested for stealing all these sunglasses. They were high-end or expensive sunglasses, right? Well, so now this woman got 30 years in prison for stealing designer sunglasses. Now, I want you all to pay attention because there have been people that are whole PDF files that have gotten 10 years probation, no jail or prison time. In some cases, there are people that have committed red rum, taking people's lives, and they didn't get 30 years. Let's talk about it. What about Brooke Skylar Richardson, who stabbed that baby that she had that nobody knew she was pregnant with, by the way, and then burned it, set it on fire, and burned it in her backyard? She got 6 months. Because they said in court, well, we don't know if the child was alive when it was born. Well, of course it was alive. Ooh, that's why she stabbed it and burned it, because she killed it. Of course she's going to tell you it was dead when it was born, because she don't want a murder charge. She got 6 months. Derek Chauvin, thank you. Amber Geiger for taking the life of Botham Jean. This lady got 30 years for stealing sunglasses. So let's get into it. This is the update to the story. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. I'm going to share my screen. Tampa woman sentenced to 30 years in prison for stealing over 20,000 in designer glasses. She was offered a 3-year plea deal, but she turned it down. I know she's wishing right about now she had taken that plea deal, honey. Woo, I hate it for her.
Prison for a string of theft convictions, but as a repeat offender, she is now facing stiffer penalties and decades in prison. Prosecutors offered her a 3-year deal. She rejected it. Instead, a jury convicted her, and she was sentenced to 30 years in prison.
That's because the state of Florida has taken a very tough stance on retail theft.
But before she was sent away, she had 2 more theft cases to settle, including this one.
The defendant entered the Zales at the Brandon Town Center Mall, tried on a ring that it had a value of $8,749.99, placed the ring on her left finger and proceeded towards the exit.
And while they tacked on more years behind bars, Admore couldn't resist smiling for the camera. Her next stop, prison. She won't be free again until she's 60 years old. Has been in and out of prison for a string of...
That is beyond sad. 30 years for theft. She didn't kill anybody. Nobody got hurt. She wasn't a violent criminal. She stole sunglasses. A string of thefts. And they said this is because Florida has these tough rules about theft. Yeah, they do for black folk. Because I saw several cases that this white judge presided over. And there was a white guy, 19 years old, and a black guy, 19 years old. These two didn't know each other. They both committed the same crime. And the white guy got probation. The black man got 3 or 4 years in prison. And there were several different cases where he ruled the same. When it was a black person, they got prison time, and the white people who committed the exact same crime just got probation. So that's how that works. That's how that works. I find it all so nefarious. So anyway, with that all being said, everyone please like and share. Please like and share. And I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I did have some lifelines for you guys. But alas, I forgot to upload the videos, honey, because y'all got to talk. We got to talk about this tomorrow, okay? Let me write it down so I don't forget. But I got to tell you all what's really going on. This is all nefarious, what they're doing to us through the food and all of this stuff, okay? I'm going to need you all to pay attention. I'm going to have to do this presentation on this tomorrow. We need to talk about this at length. I don't just need to talk about it for 3 or 4 minutes, but tomorrow I may just do a whole live on this. Because when I tell y'all the devils are working overtime to get rid of folk, okay? And I'm not just talking about people that look like me. They're trying to get rid of a whole bunch of people if you ask the queen, okay? Tawana said, I remember that, queen. The judges are racist. Yes, absolutely. All right, absolutely. Terry Hartfield said, this kind of stuff will continue to happen until Yeshua returns, okay? And so that all being said, everyone please like and share, okay? Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Sold all in my skin. God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got